Hey, how you doing today? I am Taquila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to talk about how can you tell if it's a love spell or free will. So this is a great question, and I wanted to answer it. How can you tell if it's a love spell or free will? So here's the thing: it's all about knowing what to look for, because whenever you're dealing with a spouse who is up under a love spell, here's how you could discern whether this is a love spell or this is just your spouse's free will, right? With the love spell, you want to begin to look for a variety of different signs. It's not enough to just look at, oh, my spouse rejected me, so that's his free will, his or her free will. I'm walking away. No, you got to take your time with this. You got to really, operate with wisdom. You got to really assess the whole, situation. You got to take a look at a few things so that you really understand what you're dealing with here. Okay. But again, if you're dealing with a spouse who is up under a love spell, you're going to see different signs. So immediately, they're going to reject you, right? The love spell can also influence your spouse to betray you, for the enemy. You're going to see, the look of disgust on your spouse's face. It's also a love spell in place because God would immediately begin to put you and your spouse in a divine separation. And I'm gonna tell you why that is because love spells has to do with witchcraft, right? So if a love spell is what you're dealing with here, concerning your spouse, and God began to tell you it's time for you to leave your spouse, or He tell you divine separation, however way He communicate this to you, what God is basically saying there's witchcraft involved behind the scenes that you cannot see, and so therefore God is trying to protect you, okay, from the enemy, right? So, like how I said, it's not enough to just look for one sign. It's not enough to just say, well, my spouse said they want a divorce, or my spouse, is with the counterfeit and rejected me. That's not enough. You have to look for a variety of different things. Are you up under heavy spiritual warfare? Because usually when they put this love spell on your spouse, they're going to put a separation spell on you. Okay, they're going to begin to mess with both of y'all hearts, right? Another thing, like I was saying, you're going to be hit with rejection, betrayal, disappointment after disappointment. That disgust will be on your spouse's face. They're going to become very critical of you. You might even see the spirit of anger all over your spouse, right? But here's the biggest sign that will let you know this is a love spell. This isn't his free will, his or her free will. Because when you pray, and when you fast and you begin to see your spouse coming back into their right mind, that right there is a dead giveaway that's letting you know, okay, this isn't my spouse's free will. Something else is going on here that I cannot see because I notice when I pray or as I'm fasting, I'm seeing my spouse come back into their right mind. You see? Now, if it's free will, you won't see you can see the rejection or whatever, and you might even see betrayal. However, when it's free will, you know, your spouse, they would just communicate it to you like, hey, okay, we're done. I want to break up. Or they might just say, I want a divorce, right? All that other stuff in place, you're not going to see it. You're not going to, because with a love spell, this is really a destiny transfer, okay, attempt in a love spell and separation spell, it's just one of the ways how they attempt to steal your destiny. So when it's free will, you're not going to see the enemy trying to steal your destiny. You're not going to see the enemy messing with your finances, right? You're not going to see all this spiritual warfare. It's just going to be a simple, your spouse probably sitting you down, or maybe y'all talking over the phone and they just breaking up with you. They just bringing things to an end, right? And again, you can, when it's free will, they can betray you. You could get betrayed. They can also reject you. They can also ghost you and disappear on you. But all of that spiritual warfare that comes with love spell, you won't see that with free will. Okay. Because this is this person's free will, to just end this relationship and, begin to move their life forward. But again, with a love spell, because that falls up under a destiny transfer attempt. With a love spell, when you start praying and you fast to break this love spell, you are going to see a difference in your spouse. Your spouse will begin to respond to you differently. They are going to, and then you will also see the anger being directed towards the counterfeit. This is how you know. So you got to know what to look for before you assume that this is his or her free will. You got to know the signs to look for. Okay, you got to know the signs. What are the signs of a love spell? What are the signs of a separation spell? Right. um so that you really know what you're dealing with here, because when that spell begin to wear off of your spouse, they're going to direct all that anger that they were once directed towards you to that counterfeit. You're going to see them disgusted with that counterfeit. They're not going to have anything good to say about this counterfeit, because they really don't like the counterfeit, which is why the counterfeit put the love spell on the person, right? Just to get them, like to pull them or draw them into them or whatever. So you will begin to see your spouse coming back into their right mind when you are dealing with a love spell. Okay, so I hope that was clear. I do have a teaching on how to break love spells. Just search the channel for how to break love spells, and you can watch that live. I did in the past. But with that, I am Taquila Coleman. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.